Hey guys, today's video is 3-4. We're going to be solving equations by multiplying or dividing decimals. I'd like you to pause the movie now and make sure that your paper is titled 3-4, Solving Equations by Multiplying or Dividing Decimals. When you've copied this on your paper, press play to continue. So when we solve equations with decimals, we want to look at what number's bugging the variable. Let's look at this first equation. On this side of the balance scale, I have 1.5x. On this side, I have 4.5. So who's bugging x? 1.5. 1.5 is bugging x by multiplying. The inverse is to divide. So I know I'm going to divide both sides by 1.5. So these cancel, and that leaves me with x by itself. I now have 4.5 divided by 1.5. Now, earlier in the year, we learned that we cannot have a decimal in the divisor. So what I need to do is multiply both the divisor and the dividend by 10. Once I multiply it by 10, that will make the problem 15 and 45. So the question is, how many times does 15 go into 45? Well, we know that 15 goes into 45 3 times, because 15 times 3 is 45. So I now know that these cancel. X is left over here, and 45 divided by 15 is 3. X equals 3. Please pause the movie and copy this example starting with the equations, the inverse operations, and the final answer into your notes. Let's try another one. This is a word problem. Mrs. Garcia runs on average 12.5 miles per week. How long is it going to take her to run a total of 250 miles? Let's think of how we would set up this equation. If I run 12.5 miles in 1 week, that's just 12.5. 12.5 miles in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever weeks is, I'm going to take 12.5, multiply it by the number of weeks, and that's going to give me a total of 250. Now we use our inverse operations. Who's bugging W? Well, 12.5 is by multiplying, so the inverse is to divide. I'd like you to pause the movie now and try this problem on your own. Press play again and check your answers. Let's see how you did. These should cancel, and we now have 250 divided by, I'm going to change 12.5 to 125, which means I need to add a movement here and another 0. So 125 goes into 250 2 times. 2 times 125 is 250. And subtract. I still have this 0 I need to deal with. 125 goes into 0 times. So W is equal to 20. Pause the movie, check your work to see if you got the same answer. Good. So since W equals 20, that means that it would take me 20 weeks to run a total of 250 miles. I'd like you to try this one on your own. In the supermarket sweep, a dozen hot dog buns cost $1.87 total. How much does each bun cost? So if we have 12 hot dog buns times a certain amount, they all equal $1.87. Pause the movie and solve this one on your own. Let's see how you did. 12 is bugging x by doing what? It's multiplying. The inverse of that is to divide. Now, x is equal to 1.87 divided by 12. 12 doesn't go into 1, so I'm going to bring the 0 in the decimal. 12 goes into 18 one whole time. 1 times 12 is 12, and subtract. Well, 12 goes into 67 5 times. 12 times 5 is 60. Bring down the 7. And again, we got to add a 0. 12 goes into 70 5 times again. I'm going to go ahead and stop there. And I'm going to round 0.155. I have to look to the number to the right. Since it's 5 or bigger, I round up to 0.16. So that means each bun cost me 16 cents. Pause the movie now and copy this example into your notes. Let's look at this last one. You're going to try these two on your own. I'm going to give you a little hint, though, for this first practice problem. R divided by negative 2.3 equals something. Well, who's bugging R? We notice that negative 2.3 is bugging R by dividing. So the inverse is going to be to multiply both sides by negative 2.3. These cancel and R is by itself. Finish practice 1, complete practice 2, and submit your answers to the online form. Good luck!